Hello, good evening. My name is Kwabena and welcome to today. Welcome. I want to share with you invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Every resource that we see in this life is a proof of the investment that somebody has made somewhere in any entity, whether in their lives or in anything that we see the results, or where we see the results coming from. The best of investments that we will ever do with our lives is the one that we put in ourselves. Your best investment is, let's say you want to become rich, or you want to start a business, whatever you want to do with your life. The best of the decision is the acquisition of knowledge that you have to have before you even started first. So the best of investment, investment that you ever have is the one that you put in yourself, because it's the investment that you never lose until you are out of this world. Any investment that you place in yourself stays with you forever, and that is what is responsible for your life. So without you or without me consciously investing in yourself, in myself, the dominant culture will decide the results of our lives. The only proof that you can combat the results and be the effect of the culture is the investment that you put in yourself. Other than that, your life will just be a reflection of what the culture puts in you. It means that you will not have a different resource outside what the culture has defined for us. So one of the best decisions that you will do with your life is the investment that you consciously place in yourself. The fulfillment and the satisfaction of life comes from the investment that you deliberately put in your life. And so nobody is responsible for another person's life. Any area that you have expertise, you put that expertise in yourself. So whether you went to college or you didn't go to college, any area that you have some level of expertise, experience, it's because you focus in getting something that you put in yourself. So you can only become better out of the investment that you place in yourself. And yet a lot of us go through life thinking that somebody else is responsible for the results that we get. A lot of people think that the government is responsible for the results that we get with our life. Some of them, some people think that the family is responsible for the results that we get in our lives, whether the results is in the finances, is in the business, is in the career, is in the marriage, all the results. People tend to believe that some external force is responsible for that. They may contribute to it, but the resultant effect of our lives is as a result of the investment that we place in ourselves. So don't start your life, don't start the business, don't start the marriage, don't start the family without first investing in knowledge, in skill, in yourself first, before you look at embark on anything at all. Because the quality of investment that you do in yourself will be responsible for the results of whatever activity that you do with your life. So whether it's the business, whether it's the family, whether it's the job, the investment that you made or you continue to make with your life will be responsible for the results that you get. So a lot of people finish school, start to life, and they get a job, and the next thing is I want to marry, and then they pick a woman, they pick a man, and they get salary, they start to put family together. And yet they did not consciously sit down to say that, okay, if I want to marry, what is the knowledge required for marriage? If I want to start this business, what is the knowledge required for this business? If I want to start this investment, what is the knowledge that is required for this investment? Hardly would people sit down to consider the kind of knowledge, the kind of skill, the kind of expertise that they have to have before we embark on anything. And a lot of the times, those are responsible for why there's a lot of frustration as to anything that people tend to do, because you are the drive of anything that comes out of you. You are the drive. You are responsible for that. And so if the investment in you will not be able to get the output that you're looking for, you have to put that investment there. And the areas that you need the right kind of investment, sometimes people have money and they say that, can you tell me the area that I should invest my money? The fact that you're asking somebody that, can you tell me the area that I can invest my money, means that you have not invested anything in yourself. So don't even go to use that money in the first place. Go and buy some books, go for some seminars, go for some training for you to understand what investment or financial investment means, than you going around asking everybody what you have to invest in. So anything that you're doing, the level of quality of knowledge that you have sat down to acquire will be responsible for the results that you get. And most people are just looking out for information from everybody, but without consciously sitting down to say that, what is it that I don't know? What is it that I know? This thing I want to embark on. What is the level of expertise that I have in it? Because it means that if, say you went to school to study, sociology, and now you want to, let's say, maybe start a business in maybe, say, farming. Before you embark on the farming, at least use some 6 months, 1 year to get some basic knowledge as to how farming is done before you embark on it. Because your decisions are going to come from that. Even in spite of all the talkings and all the things that the so-called experts will tell you, you still be the one to make the final call. You still be the one to say that, okay, this money should go here, this money should not go here, this money should go here. And so the best of investment is the one that you put in yourself. And most people think that the investment is just going to school to get a certificate. That is just a fraction, very little of the entire investment that you need. The best of it is the one that you have really sat down to identify the areas that you need to improve your knowledge, especially, and the skills that you need. So invest in areas. The best of it is knowledge acquisition. Improve in your knowledge. Improve in your knowledge. A lot of us believe so much in what we know, and a lot of the things that we know are just shallow. Because the knowledge that you have expertise in is the knowledge that you have really sat down, or you have really over time consciously delved into it. So whether it's knowledge about finance, whether it's business, whether it's marriage, whether it's family, whatever knowledge, whether it's your area, you didn't just have somebody just you didn't just read one article on that and you become did not read that article and become just an expert in that. No, it's overhaul. Before, some people have even said that before you become an expert in any area, it will not take less than 5 to 10 years to become an expert in any area. And so if you have not really gathered a lot of information and practice, then you don't have that kind of investment that you have to get the required results that you need. But a lot of us think that we almost have an opinion on everything, even if you have not really sat down to study it. And so you see, people are experts. People are very much, they have expertise in areas that they have not even read 1 or 2 or 3 books. And so we make a lot of decisions with shallow information, shallow-mindedness. But we tell ourselves, we are able to deceive ourselves that we have almost knowledge in every area. And yet, the areas that you have some level of knowledge are the areas that you have sat down to invest, because investment is actually labor. It's labor, is time consuming, is constructive building, of knowledge, of skill. So you are not going to get any results at consistent results from any area that you have not consistently developed or invested in. You can only reap from areas that you have invested in. And the best of it is the area that is you. Any area of your life that you think you don't have the expertise, don't just feel because you have one expertise in area A, you think that is transferable. It's not necessarily so. And that's why those of us that they sent to college, we are the most difficult people to believe in self-investment. People who can read and have read something somewhere, we are the most difficult. And that's why the results beat a lot of us, because you don't sit down to really study something, especially the things. I will not even spread it everywhere. The things that matter to you in life, the things that matter to you in life, and the things that matter to us, a lot of people will be say things about God, faith, things about money, career, profession, things about family, friendship, husband, wife, children. Most people, these are the things that are interested that they are interested in. Most people, these are the things that they are interested in. Yet, if you can see, over all their lives, the knowledge that they have in any of these areas is just the common knowledge that everybody else have. And if you have common knowledge that everybody else has in any area, it means that you have not really delved into it. You have not really studied that. So your revelation is just around just what the other man on the street has, and he has not committed to going into depth of it. And yet you want results which is different from the other man, and it's not going to happen. So any area that you want to study, you have to consciously study that, and don't give yourself 1 or 2, 3 days to say that you have mastered it. No, just as your professional life, you took a lot of time to go to school and then practice on the field, and you became an expert. Any area of your life, whether it's the finances, whether it's the business, whether it is even God or relationship, it is still going to take you a lot of knowledge and then a lot of practice for you to get results, and for me to get results. So the best form of investment is the one that you put in yourself, because you are the one responsible for the results that is coming. And you see, that makes some people believe that it means that you think that God is not important. And if God was in charge of your life will not be this. That is the fact. Because a lot of people are not happy with the kind of life that they are living. It shows that God is not the one responsible. God is not the one responsible for your life. It's you. It's myself. He's giving us He's giving us power, will. He's giving us His word to live our lives. So the investment that you do, the investments that you make, if you so even believe that God is responsible, how much of God do you understand? How much of God do you know? That is a reflection of how much time you have spent with the God that you think is responsible for your life. So when some of these things are talked about, our background, especially the religious side of us, always makes people a bit more confused in terms of why should I be responsible? They even write books and teach a lot of things on these things. If you can do things, then why should God help you? And so people become lazy in trying to develop themselves. They are going into the depth in trying to get any subject that pertains to their lives, because they think that is the responsibility of God. And I think that's why most people who have this kind of thinking about life don't become any much great, because our lives are just a reflection of the investments that we make. And so your confusion about God and religion can limit you from you consciously studying any subject at all, becoming a master. And usually all of us, is the finances, is the profession, is the business, is the marriage. And let's say marriage, if you look at the troubles that people go through in marriage, for instance, a lot of us are just operating with the common knowledge that they gave us, whether the one that your mother told you, or the one that your friend told you, or the one that they told you in church, and that is just the surface. It's not because it's so difficult, it's because the knowledge that they have given us is superficial, and people have really done a lot of studies. So if you want a successful friendship, for instance, go and buy a lot of books on friendship. If you read 100 books on friendship, you will see that there's so much you don't know about friendship. The same with even money. If you want to make money, read about at least 100 books on money, and let's see what you become. Same with business. If you want to build a business, at least read 100 books on business, on every subject that pertains to business. And let's see. So whichever area that you want to become an expert, until you have given your life to reading a lot and acquiring a lot of knowledge and practicing, you have not invested a lot in yourself in that area. And yet we go around trying to, accuse everybody of the limited resource that we get. And it's because we just try to be lazy. So investment calls for some level of consumption of time. So anything that you want to do with your life, any area that you want to see huge success, precision, productivity, if you don't sit down to acquire the knowledge, because the thing is that everywhere that we were born, everywhere that we grew up, we are just a reflection of the knowledge that they gave us. And that knowledge is just like, it's for resuscitation, so to say. They say when you go to the accident scene and they are trying to look at those who are not dead, they just have to do something to keep them alive and send it to the experts. The knowledge that the culture gave us, the knowledge that the school gave us, the knowledge that the family gave us, it's just like that. It's just to keep us, floating, so that the experts can come in for the results to be constructive, so to say, to be solidified, to be consistent. So you cannot depend on this superficial knowledge on anything that you got from the culture, from the community, from the church, everywhere, and get proper, consistent, impressive results. It is not going to. So if you decide on anything, don't just start. For instance, if it's business, don't just start of what you have heard of what they talk about business and think that you have some knowledge on business, therefore you are required to study business. No. Get books. Get about 100 books. Read them. And by the time you finish reading proper business books that people who have built businesses have written, you have so much to go with. And even if when you are still doing it, your results will just be reflection of the constant investment of knowledge that you get to do, or you put in yourself in that business. Same as the family. If you are not reading a lot, getting a lot of information, proper knowledge beyond what you hear on the radio, what you hear from your father, from your mother, those kind of things. I mean, I'm talking of you sitting down to plan. It's a planning thing. It's a strategy. It's something that you sit down to say, this area of my life. Some of us are 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and almost everything that is linked to our lives, you have never sat down to even read anything. Go ask questions on those areas and acquire proper knowledge beyond what the culture told you. So you cannot become a pharmacist by what you heard from the society about pharmacy. That's why you went to school, they taught you all these models, you wrote exams, and then you became an expert. And even that, you continue to upgrade yourself. You read journals on that, you go for seminars to be at the top of that profession. Say, we only apply that usually to professions, but we don't apply that to, say, our finances, to our marriage, even to understanding of God, to things that worry every human, to things that are important to every human. We don't think that just as they had to cage you, put you in school for 4 years, for 7 years, for you to become an expert in that field, you are not going to succeed and enjoy the best of results in the other areas if you don't consistently push a certain amount of knowledge and skill development. So don't just think that just because you went to college, all these other areas, you know them. Because when you went to school or when you went to work, they only gave you that knowledge in a specific area. And so yes, about life is the same. So the finances is not going to improve that much beyond just the salary that is coming in, because you are not an expert on that. You have not read anything, you have not studied anything, you have not schooled yourself on that. And yet you are thinking that it will change and become one of the best. The people who control finances, big ones, are constantly investing in financial knowledge and financial skill development. Constantly. That's why they play the big game. That's why they are skilled. Those who have very successful marriages are constantly improving their life. They improving their knowledge in marriage, on men, on women, on the family setup. They constantly reading books on that. That's why they are enjoying the benefit of it. Those who have proper understanding of themselves are constantly investing in the knowledge about themselves. They are developing themselves, their passion, their expertise, what the life is about. So you are not going to succeed in any area of your life just by depending on the knowledge that everybody else has. It's not going to happen. It's just the knowledge that they have to give you so that you can just move around in this life. But it's not the one that you are going to get proper productive results from if you have not gone deep into such topics and subjects. So saying the areas that you really focus in investing is knowledge first. Knowledge first. Human beings are just a product of the knowledge that they have, the quality of it, and how they have applied it. And the best of knowledge is not the one they are talking. The best of knowledge is seen in the results that you're producing. So the proof of you knowing is not that you can criticize it. That's a certain level of knowledge. But the proof of you knowing anything at all is the fact that we can see the corresponding results of that which you know. You know, so you can't say that you're a carpenter, you're a master carpenter, and you can produce a chair. Nobody will believe you. So it's the same. So whatever knowledge that you have spent time to acquire, the head knowledge is good, but that is not the end. The end results of knowledge is the results that you prove with that knowledge that they gave you. And so you read books, you commit to books in areas of life. I will not even go to the scientific and innovation and creativity, not those areas. The basic areas that worry all people: finance, family, spiritual things, those things that worry people. How much of time, how much of quality knowledge have you invested in yourself? Because that is responsible for the confusion or the clarity in your personal life, So the professional knowledge, your health, for instance. If you are healthy, it's because there's certain knowledge that you have on health. So if your lifestyle, the food you eat, all those may be responsible for the kind of health that you're enjoying. So if you pick the shallow understanding in the culture, in the community about health, your results in terms of health will just be a reflection of what you know. It means it's just an average kind of understanding. So your work ethics is the same. If you pick the knowledge, if you did not invest much in knowledge concerning your work ethics, for instance, if you did not invest that much concerning work ethics, how you work, how you take your work, and how you think that you can work properly. If you pick that knowledge from just what everybody else knows, you just work as everybody, because you have not taken time to read. So you have worked for 10 years. How many books, how many seminars have you gone on how to work, how to be very productive at your workplace? If you are not reading on that, you are just producing the same results that everybody else is producing. And so you will get you are just putting in the same kind of input that everybody else is doing. It means that you will just get just about the same results that everybody else is getting. So the investment is the separating factor. The self-investment on any area of your life is the separating factor from the rest. So it's, for instance, your understanding what you have done in terms of investment on character, on values in your own life. How much have you read on that? How much have you studied on that? A lot of humans believe that what they gave us is enough for us to to live our entire life. No. Even if you fuel your car and you were going from here to Accra, from here to Kumasi, and you needed, say, maybe 300 worth of fuel, Ghana City worth of fuel to move from here to Kumasi, and they just gave you 20 cedis worth of fuel. Once you move, it will move you, but you will not reach Kumasi. Same with the kind of knowledge that they gave us, because knowledge is actually fuel for life. So the more you you go deep into taking knowledge in any of these areas, that is a proof of the kind of investment that you're making in yourself. Because self-investment is, first of all, you getting to improve your knowledge in whatever you're doing. So it's also with character. If your character is weak, It's just a reflection of the fact that you have not consistently invested much in how you can develop a good character. And so you are depending on the one that they told you from your friends and everybody, and that is not enough. The open knowledge is not enough for anybody to win, because that is no secret. The one which is enough for you to win the race is the one that you are applying, the formula that you have found yourself that you're applying. And you cannot find the formula, or you will not find the formula just by scratching the surface of anything. It's in the deep. Once you go deep, you will find an investment. Investing is really digging into the deep. That is what I have got to say, that the areas that you invest in, they are the areas that you have spent your life to invest in. Those are the areas that you're winning. The areas that you have thought that you knew anything about it and it was enough, that is the area that you see that you are just being average and struggling. And the thing is that the knowledge that they gave us when we were brought in this life, it's just superficial knowledge. It's just to make you sustain. But the one that will get the results is the one that you consciously sit down to build and to build up. And so don't depend on the average knowledge that they have told you. On God, it will make you very confusing. Or about yourself, it will make you very confusing. About finance, about business, the average knowledge that everybody knows, the one that they are discussing on TV, on radio, that is not an investment of knowledge. The one that you go to dig, watch that video, read that book, listen to that audio, go for that seminar, those that you are doing by yourself, constructively, consciously, that is the investment that will separate you, and that is the investment that will make you win. And so so if you're not getting any results in any area, those are the things that are important to people, any area, it proves that you have not really sat down to invest in yourself in those areas. That's why the results is not coming. So the best of investment that you ever do in your life is the self-investment. It's the investment that you do in your life, acquiring better knowledge on the things that are important to you, going beyond the ones that they have told you that everybody knows, that they make jokes about, because there is always that knowledge that is beyond the one everybody knows, and that is where the resource is. So without you consciously investing in your life, the culture will determine the results that you produce, because the culture just gives you the knowledge to just live within the culture. So you just become another person, just like another person. Your understanding of everything is just like the other person. You are not going to have different results. Your understanding about everything is just like what everybody else knows. They say, oh, this is how Ghanaians think, this is how Africans think, this is how Ashantis think, this is how Ewes think, this is how Dagombes think. That kind of knowledge, if you operate with that, it means that you have not invested in any knowledge at all. So they said, oh, this is how Kwao people handle money, this is how Ashantis handle money. If you go with that, you will not be more different from the average Kwao person or the Ashanti person or the average something, because that is just what the culture is responsible. They just have to make sure that you survive here. But for proper results, consistent, predictable results, it will only call for conscious development, investment in yourself. And usually, almost all the time, it's an investment of knowledge, it's an investment of skill in yourself, because whatever skill that you have developed, whatever knowledge that you have put in yourself, nobody can take that knowledge from you. It stays with you forever, and that is what separates you from any other group, any other person. So whatever you commit your life to do, to learn, is going to stay with you forever, and that's how you improve your life. So nobody else is responsible for the results that we are getting. It's the investments that we have committed to make in ourselves that is responsible for the results that we are getting. So the fulfillment and the satisfaction of life comes from the investment, conscious investment, not the shallow one that you have made. Okay, so your understanding of marriage, for instance, is the same. If it's just the average knowledge that they preach on Peace FM, that is not going to make you succeed. The ones that you have picked books to study, your understanding of how business is done, your understanding of entrepreneurship, your understanding of finances, your understanding of how things are done, the things that you're doing, how they are done. Even if you are producing a product, your understanding of it and how it is perfected cannot be just the average knowledge of the other guy across the street. You will just produce the same kind of results. So you committing to more, acquisition of knowledge and practicing and investing, because it's a skill. Investment is you. It's a skill that you are always polishing, and it's constant, and that is responsible for the results that you are going to get. So you can only become better out of the investment that you put in yourself. And you don't have to start anything without you doing some level of investment in knowledge about anything. So for instance, if you want to go and buy land, you don't just go and buy the land. You go around to ask questions around the area. Who is the land for? You do your own diligence, and you start to talk to people who have done that and acquire some professional knowledge on that. Then if you make any commitment and there's problem, at least you would know that you made the effort to invest trying to find out. It's the same with life. But the more you invest in trying to get the right things, getting the right results, getting the right information, the more you are close to closing the gap on the failure, closing the gap on the mistakes, closing the gap on productivity. So don't even consider entering a business, entering any relationship without you acquiring some basic knowledge and basic skill, because that is what is going to be the separator. It's not any other thing. If to a large extent, is the investment, because once you get, that's why if let's say the president, he's there as any human being. You can put another person there and that person can become a president, but the way the president is working is different from the way the another person is working. Why? Because he's there of the totality of the investment of his life. Everything that he has ever gone through, everything that he has ever learned, every contact, everything that he understands, that's how he's there. If you move him and put another person there, that person comes to produce the results according to the investment that they have made in their personal life. That's why when you move somebody, let's say they are playing football, and you change that guy and put another person there, why is it that they even pay some players more than the others? Let's just be open-minded a little. It's because they think that person has invested a lot in himself. So you are even paid according to the investment that you have made in yourself. So if you move that CEO of that company which is doing well, and he turn that business around, and you put another CEO there, that company can easily go out of existence. So it's not just a human being. When you meet any human being at all, you are meeting the totality of their investment. And every human being counts. The presence of every human being is an entirety of the investment that you have made with their lives. That's why when you have problem, you have somebody to call, and you don't call the other person, because of what they have used their life, what they have put in their life, which is an investment, and that is what you think will benefit you. That's why when you have the case in court, you are not calling this lawyer, but you are calling this lawyer. Why? Because of the things that you think that lawyer can do, the results that he can get you. And that result is a proof of the investment that he has done, he has put in himself all through his life. So it's the same. Everybody is looking for somebody, not because they are just looking for a human being, but they are looking for the investment that they have made in themselves. The investment they have made in themselves. Then that investment, or those investments, are reflected in how they work, their work ethics, their character, their composure, their understanding, the way they look at life, their precision level, their skill, all those, they are just reflection of the investment that they have made in their life. So it's saying, however you do your things, they are just reflecting how you have invested your time. So if you are 20 years, however you are doing your things now, it's just a reflection of how you are, whatever investment that you have put in yourself. So when you get to meet people, you are not really just meeting a human being, you are meeting the totality of the investment that they have had all their lives. So commit to investing in your life. The important things that are important to you, the important things that are to you, things that you think are important, and usually the things that everybody else thinks about, the finances, the business, the marriage, the relationship, those, commit to getting deeper, correct knowledge in those areas, or the results will never match. The results will never support your conviction because it's just what you put in that is going to decide the results. So human beings are just a reflection of the investment that they have made in their lives. So commit to investing quality knowledge. If you started any project, any business, this is one of the best secrets that you can get. Continuing to read, get knowledge, acquire knowledge continuously. Develop the knowledge, develop the skill, acquire them. If you marry, read books, continue to read. Upgrade your knowledge beyond the culture. Whatever that you're doing, upgrade the knowledge. If you want to raise children, there are books on that. Continue to read. You can't just read a one half-page book and you're 60 years and think that you can raise children just because of what your grandmother told you. Because times have changed. And so you get the right kind of knowledge continuously. And if you continue to do that, you'll be successful at what you do. So your results is just a proof of the investment that you have made in yourself. So everybody that you meet is just a reflection of the investment that they have made in themselves. The quality of their character, the quality of their work, the quality of their relationship, the satisfaction of their life, the productivity that they show in everywhere that you put them, is just a reflection of the investments that they have made in their life. So if you want to change the results, it's not the results that you worry so much. You worry about the investment that they are making in their lives. So once you work on the investment, on the input, the results will improve. And so thank you very much for watching. My name is Kwabena. I have tried to talk to you about investment and you investing in yourself, and it's one of the best decisions that you can ever make, investing in yourself. And when I talk of investing in yourself, when you get money, put them in the knowledge that you put in yourself. Go and buy a book. Your money should not just be buying food and clothes. That's not investment. Nice shoes. Every time you are buying shoe, every time you are buying watch, TV, nice car, nice house, those are not investment. No, your knowledge, what you put in the knowledge is the right investment. So when we look at the books that you are buying, the training materials, the training tools, those are the investment, because those don't perish. They stay with you till you die. So I'm not talking about buying nice shirt and buying nice clothes and no, those are not investment. No, those are things that perish. I'm not talking of you going to buy even stocks. I'm not talking of that. I'm talking of in yourself, because that is responsible for everything that you become. And so the proof, if you have 100 cedis now and that's the only money that you have, where do you put it? Are you just going to buy food with it, or you are going to get a book, a product that will change your mind? Because great people are always putting their money in becoming better. All the time. All the time. That's what they do. The average one is always putting money in something that they think somebody else will say that they are rich. And that's why they continue to be average. So he's trying to buy the nice car, nice shoe, nice jewelry, nice weaves, and they're shining. But you talk to them and you know that they are shallow. They don't have anything. You will not commit anything precious to them. Some guys, you see them very robust. They have the physical, they spend a lot of time at the gym. But you ask them critical issues about finances, about life, about things, they have no clue. That's a wrong investment. The guy who's developing his mind will be the one who will employ you and pay you. So if you are the young lady trying to do all the nails and everything, and they ask you anything about finances, you don't know. They ask you anything about business, you don't know. They ask you anything about any professional, you say, no, I don't know, I don't like those things. I like comedy, I like movies. You are wasting your life. You're wasting your life. You're wasting your life. The proper investment are the things that you put in yourself to become better. The financial, the knowledge, the things that you can put in yourself so that you become a better person all the time. A better person. So don't waste. If your last money is 1,000 Ghana, don't go and use that money to buy. What is it? What is it that they buy? Nice phone. And all that you're doing is you just browse Facebook and WhatsApp with your nice phone. No, you'll be nothing. You'll be nothing. If you want to buy that nice phone, maybe you have to buy that and have to buy books. Develop yourself. Develop your mind. Read constantly. Get knowledge. Commit to something. Let somebody meet you as a young girl, and your information that you are giving on how things are done is so much impressive. They have never met anybody like that. you know. But you work you work in the company. Whenever they need critical information for anything, they don't even ask you, because you're always on your phone looking for Jakapia. You are wasting your life. You're wasting everything that you have. And some of them will always say that, oh, me, the only book that I read is the Bible. No, you read other books to get current modern day knowledge. That's why you become better at anything. You cannot read the Bible to become a good doctor. No, you are reading only the Bible because you were not trained with the Bible when you were becoming a doctor or an engineer. Bible is good, but how about the current findings, the current research that people have, the way things are going? How do you get an update now just because you just want to read? And some people only read even religious books. You cannot become an expert in your field reading religious books. You become an expert reading the right journals, up-to-date books. That's why people become great. And anybody who commits to that, if you commit to 100 books, say every 1 year or every 2 years, you want to read 100 books, you'll be amazed the results that you have. And you can change your life just by the books that you are acquiring in the area that you are improving yourself. And the same with every aspect of your life, whether it's the business, the marriage, the finances. You are only weak because you have weak knowledge. People are only weak because they have weak knowledge and weak skill. The thing is overcoming you, the thing is beating you, the thing is frustrating you because of the weak knowledge that you have. The moment you go for the right, strong knowledge and you start to practice, nothing can beat you. And that is a proof of self-investment. So don't waste your life, waste all your money on food or nice. Every restaurant you know in town, every movie theater you are there, every occasion you are there, every naming ceremony you are there, and you don't have 2 hours to read a book every day. That is dangerous. So you change that decision, you improve your life, and you see that things will change. Because a lot of the things that people complain about is not really demonic. It's just that we have not put that thing which can get us that results. So we have not spent time to develop ourselves, invested anything in our mind, and we just flow with everybody, the same basic cultural knowledge that everybody has. That is what we have, and yet we want to be different. It will never happen. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you. My name is Kwabena. I've tried to talk about investing in yourself, and it's one of the best things that you can ever do for your life. Investing and becoming somebody ambitious, achieving, committed, work ethics very solid. You know how to manage your time, money, manage relationships, and that is what you can do to improve your life. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.